Hello, friends. It's Chapo. Hey babies, it's Chapo. We've made it. It's 2020. It's a new year. It's a new decade. We have returned from our potting sabbatical. We're back in good health and high spirits. It's me, Will, and I'm here with Virgil, Matt, and Amber to help you ring in officially our first episode of this new decade.
The decade.
Shut the fuck up! If any of you are even thinking about saying 2021 is the start of the new decade,
yeah, that's the male version of the vulva girl who says, "Actually, mean vulva when you need vagina." No one cares. No one cares.
Yeah, let me just stop you dead in your tracks there before you even think about it. It's the new Roaring 20s, and it's I gotta say, started off with a bang. I think I'd just like to acknowledge at the top of the show the sort of, I don't know, pitch perfect, or some might say too on the nose way that this decade has ended. And by that, I mean on December 31st, dueling news stories of, number one, the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad being looted and ransacked by a militia we were up until like a week ago paying to suppress other groups in Iraq. It's something a little bit on the nose when the very center of America's biggest imperial project of
largest U.S. embassy in the world
is being looted. I got in trouble for it, but still gonna say I still love to see it. Sorry.
But those guys who looted the embassy, they're members of a brutal Iranian-backed militia, like you said, that we were supporting against ISIS, who have committed crimes against Iraqi civilians.
Oh, right. Whereas the people inside the embassy were just there to help them, I suppose.
We're helping. We've been helping.
No,
also, I
sorry.
bet that embassy has amazing swag.
Yeah, I mean, come on. The photo of the guy, I'm sorry. Yes, please inform me of the context, but I'm sorry. The photo of the dudes just holding the fucking U.S. Embassy seal in the street.
It's just a perfect
I like
thing.
it.
It's just a perfect image.
It's just an
saying,
image, just
okay,
symbolically.
All right, it's time to go. This is you're at a party and like they put on Metal Machine music. They're giving you a message. Get the fuck out.
It's not quite the red flag over the Reichstag, but it does look cool.
But it is good. This is again, according to Trump, the anti-Benghazi.
Folks, it was the opposite of Benghazi.
We should have used.
They built an embassy, okay?
If Obama were smart, he would have used anti-Benghazi during Benghazi.
They would have put ships loaded with anti-Benghazi dispersed all over the city.
Things in Iraq going great. Like I said, the biggest U.S. embassy in the world currently being looted. Oops. Owned.
I thought they were respecting us again in the world. What the hell?
And then number two, closing up the decade, Australia just on fire.
Not a country anymore.
Like not even habitable by human beings anymore.
If it ever was.
Yeah.
And that terrifying. Don't know what to say about it other than, we have many friends of the podcast and many listeners in Australia.
It's just Matt Brady. Just say Matt Brady.
I hope he's okay. Well, I mean, he's far enough away, but we're talking about a portion of that country that's, I don't know, I'm just going to say 3 times the size of the United States and Antarctica put together. There are like whole communities just pushed to the beach awaiting like a Dunkirk style evacuation from these brush fires, and everywhere else in the country it's 120 degrees outside.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think it's important that we give our listeners some scientific context for this, pretty important story. When it's winter here in the northern hemisphere, it's summer in the southern hemisphere, which means when they have Christmas, it's hot.
That just seems sick.
I don't believe it.
That's wrong.
That sounds like a made up. That sounds like a Snapple fact to me.
No, it's true.
Well,
Call them up.
Well, like if you're in Australia, just like I said, consider leaving the country. I mean, even if it isn't on fire.
We'll welcome you to. We'll have our own detention centers for you, which you guys love. You guys love detention centers for refugees.
Staten
fill-
Island will not be for
We'll fill them
Australians.
with spiders and poisonous snakes, so you feel at home.
Yeah. Now let's just turn Seattle into, what is it called, Naruto or whatever that
Naruto.
that island.
Naruto.
The island they put everybody on who tries to come to Australia.
Yeah, it's called
Naru.
It's called Naruto, man.
Naruto. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So anyway,
Staten Island will be ours.
So the decade is off to shall we say a highly symbolic start.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other
We're leaving all that in the last decade. No, Australia fires last decade.
Symbolism, we're done with it.
On the other hand, though, another thing that we're kicking off this year and the decade with is Q4 Bernie Sanders fundraising totals. Blow the horn of victory. Edit in a real sound effect there. But blow the horn of victory. Bernie in this last, at the deadline filing, what did he raise? Something like $34 million. $36 million. Tens of millions of dollars more than anyone else in the Democratic primary. And I believe the single most amount of money raised in a quarter ever by any candidate.
My money, I don't think it's too much to say, is real good right now.
34.5
It's 34.5
versus Pete's 26.
Dollars.
Which he got by having rubber chicken fundraisers twice a day, apparently. He's just been on the grind, begging every local rich dickhead to cut a check to him.
And then Biden, 22 million.
He's up.
Yeah,
I mean, he's up from where he was.
One, which is how they're spinning it.
They're great.
Yeah.
He gets graded on a curve.
No,
Then literally everything,
That's true.
including speaking in complete sentences.
His entire career.
That's great, Joe. That's a good job. We're all proud of you, Joe.
All right, I just want to. Former Chapo guest Matthew Sitman pointed this out this morning, and I said these are two New York Times headlines about this fundraising haul, and I just let's just notice how these two stories are framed. The first one: Bernie Sanders says he raised $34.5 million in the fourth quarter. Mr. Sanders' total is the largest 3-month haul disclosed by any Democratic candidate so far, but he trailed President Trump, whose campaign reported raising $46 million in the quarter.
Fucking loser. Get the fuck out of here,
Okay.
Bernie. How are you going to compete against that? That's almost $10 million less, you fucking idiot.
But what they don't specify was the $44 million. Was that combined general and primary, or was that just for the primary? Because I would
It wasn't.
almost certainly believe it's the former.
Oh wait, with Bernie, it's not the most amount of money raised, but it's the most donations of any candidate in history. I think.
Yeah, over 5 million.
Yeah, over 5 million
individual donations. Over, I think.
No, it's 5 million donations. Something
Yes.
like 1.8 individuals.
Individual
who donated.
donors.
Yes,
And 5 individual.
yes, 5
5
million
discrete
actual donations. Yeah. So that's
And I would guess, unless otherwise specified, that 99% of that is earmarked for the primary.
all right. Here, so that was the way they framed Bernie Sanders raising $34.5 million, which is to say he's trailing Donald Trump. Pete Buttigieg. Okay, this is Pete Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg's campaign says it raised $24.7 million in the fourth quarter. Mr. Buttigieg, who appears in a strong position in Iowa with a month until the caucuses, continues to show fundraising strength. There we go. All right, and then I want to just shout out another one of these rather choice reactions to Bernard's huge, just incredibly secure bag. This comes courtesy of our old friend Bill Schur. You might remember Bill Schur as the guy who probably sold more copies of our book than Virgil Texas did with his amazing review of it.
Yeah, that was a hell of a sales guy.
Yeah.
There. He won the car.
He won the Cadillac. Virgil got the steak knives. All right, so Bill Schur is responding to quoting Bernie Sanders raised $34.5 million in Q4 with an average donation of $18. He goes, "Your periodic reminder that the small donor class is disproportionately white, wealthy, college-educated, and much smaller than the overall primary electorate." To which Natalie Schur responded, "Okay."
No relation.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. He says, "Okay, now compare them to the big donor class." Bill responds, large donors are more white and wealthy than small donors, but small donors are still more white and wealthy than the overall electorate. We too easily assume that small donors are representative of the electorate, but most voters by a mile are non-donors. So another way,
because they don't have any money.
Another way you could put that is that Bernie Sanders donors are less white, well-educated, and wealthy than everyone else's donors.
Especially Mayor Pete.
Yes, especially Pete Buttigieg's.
Yeah. Also, there are small beans. the small bean donor class.
Be delicate with them.
Yeah. I hate being that Bernie's in the pocket of big small donor. Well, fucking makes me sick.
Most voters who aren't donors are huge. They're large.
7 to 8 feet
large
tall.
non-donors.
They're the buffaloes. They're just angry buffaloes stampeding through the nation.
The last Pete Buttigieg fundraiser, at the very end, the McGuire brothers burst in on their motorcycles, trailing a fucking RV full of cash.
I don't know though, but I mean, I guess we were like talking about this to close out the end of the year, but it has been interesting to watch. Like just really within the last couple of weeks, and especially now that you really are in the absolute home stretch before the actual voting begins, the media essentially not coming around to, but trying to find a way to talk about the now undeniable fact that Bernie Sanders is, if not the front runner, then someone that you cannot deny has an extremely good chance of winning this nomination.
Yeah, they've been spending they spent the entirety of 2019 in the first stage of grief, in the denial stage. We'll see how fast they burn through the other.
Well, like I said, for almost all of 2019, almost all that you heard from them was either nothing at all, or if they did talk about him, it was just sort of like, that's nice.
Little Bernie.
Oh, that's nice. You know, I mean, he has some very passionate supporters, but, you know, he's yesterday's news, or like nobody really takes seriously that he's going to, you know, go the distance. But again, after he had the heart attack, they thought that was it for him. He's gone nothing but up since then. Elizabeth Warren's gone nothing but down.
Well, you know, this means that we are in the third stretch. Because remember, first they ignore you, then they ridicule you, now they're attacking you, and then you win.
Yep.
Which, by the way, Gandhi didn't say that. It was a trade union activist, but whatever. It's fine.
Well, I keep...
Sorry, that's my vulva thing. It's a misattributed quote.
Well, I mean, I keep hearing as well that now that they're in the fight him stage, that like, you know, Bernie Sanders, I keep hearing that Bernie Sanders has never really been attacked before, and now he's gonna, and like, you know, he's not ready for that, and like, which I gotta say, this is Sparta, basically. We will fight them in the shade.
I mean, they're already talking about how unfair it is to have a dedicated army of online warriors ready to shred anyone who goes against him.
They're talking about how it's unfair to have an army of people who want to give money to you all.
Yeah.
It's all cheating.
Unfair that it gets all these small donations from working class people.
It's really cheating to want anyone to want to vote for you.
Exactly.
Because you're not supposed to want to vote for them. You're supposed to sigh
Begrudgingly.
begrudgingly accept that you have to vote for them. Mm-hmm. That's how it works. That's how the big boys do it, and that's why thank God they think this way, because otherwise there might have been more like pressure against Bernie when he was more vulnerable. But they underestimated the whole time, because like axiomatically in like the Democrat brain is that the only people who believe the things that Bernie does are children and baby-brained adults, like people who are not really a threat, because if they were really smart, they wouldn't think that.
Yeah. Little did they know, America is full of baby-brained adults.
Damn right. We've been fucking watching Nickelodeon our entire lives. We never switched to Nick at Night. We just kept watching the Nickelodeon programming.
So, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm interested to see what some of these attacks are going to look like. You know, I mean, like I said, he's in the pocket of big small donor. I think that one's going to come down the pike. They're going to try to do all the oppo that they did try to do in 2016, and literally nobody gave a fuck about.
Well, yeah,
it's all like, try it again.
It's all 80s like Cold War shit that no one even remembers.
Mm-hmm. And also the Bernie's not a Democrat thing, which
again, we've talked about that.
His advantage.
We've talked about that. Exactly. Please do the free advertising for run every ad about how he's not a Democrat and never has been one.
Yeah.
They're like, every awful policy of the last 30 years that has made your life demonstrably worse. This guy's had nothing to do with and actively opposed. Vote Warren.
They're gonna print out that one video of him singing working songs with the Soviet dinner party
Yeah.
onto an IMAX screening and play it at Cineplexes around the country.
It'll be a Fathom event. I also see in the roundup of the Democrats have a real Bernie problem is that Medicare for all is super unpopular, and the evidence they use for that is that Elizabeth Warren's campaign has tanked as soon as she started talking about it.
Well, no, as soon as she started hedging on it,
Exactly.
that's when she fucking
Exactly.
collapsed. It's very. Honestly, that to me, I think the way they're thinking about it is that, well, Bernie just has his weird psychos who worship him, but everybody else hates Medicare for all, and so Warren, by trying to get on the bandwagon there, kind of screwed herself because they really do believe that. And the thing is to the degree that support for Medicare for all does go down, a lot of that is due to the Democratic Party intentionally trying to make it look bad by lying about it.
Also, it's one of the issues that is completely like non-generational. Like it's one of these things where I think a lot of times when people try and bank off of youth votes, one, they assume that like youth is a class and it's just not. And two, like, dude, old people have to pay a lot of money for all their medications because they're old. Like it has much more support from like retirees than you would think, because even if you are like, on Medicaid or Medicare, like there's still out of pocket shit, and it does well.
Oh yeah, and also I just noticed this 3 days ago. Elizabeth Warren was saying at an event, "I'm still with Bernie. We're still there on Medicare for all."